Good evening. My name is Rachel Haynes, and this week we are supposed to do an informative speech. And I would like to talk to you for just a few moments about adopting a puppy. I have adopted several dogs throughout my lifetime, and so I do feel like I have several tips and tricks that can help you bring your new puppy home. One of the very first things that I do encourage people to do is to take your time and really think about it. The last thing you want to do is immediately rush out and buy a puppy. I would say usually 9 out of 10 times this does not work out well, and usually it is the puppy that ends up suffering because of it. Secondly, you need to really decide what kind of dog do you want. Do you want a big dog? Do you want a small dog? Do you want a very active dog? Would you rather have one that lays on your floor like a rug all day? There are dogs out there that are very high maintenance. These are dogs that you have to take to the groomers every other month to get their nails done or their hair clipped or that kind of a thing. And these dogs usually are a lot more of a responsibility, and you need to make sure that you are willing to do that for your puppy. Another thing is I do not recommend getting the designer dogs. And an example of this is going to be the Blue Pit. These dogs came out several years ago, and what a lot of people don't realize is that these puppies were inbred to get that look. And as these dogs have gotten older, they have now started seeing a lot of emotional problems occurring in that type of a dog. Another example would be like when 101 Dalmatians came out from Disney. Everybody rushed out and got Dalmatian puppies, and it turns out adult Dalmatian dogs do not get along well with small children. And so what happened then was that your local shelters were flooded with Dalmatians that they couldn't get rid of, and so they ended up having to put them down. Other things you want to think about is how much space do you have in your home? Do you live in a home or do you live in an apartment? Does your apartment even allow you to have a dog? If so, do they put restrictions on what type of dog you have? I know there are several apartment buildings close to me that will not allow you to have what's called a bully breed dog. These are going to be your pit bulls, your Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers. These are considered, part of being the bully breeds. Also, lots of places have size limits, 25 pounds or less, and this really cuts out a lot of your choices as well. Another thing you need to think about are children. Do you have small kids? Some dogs do not get along well with small children. They just don't. They don't like them. Another thing to think about is how much time do you really have to spend with your puppy? If you're working 80 hours a week and you go to school and you have a social life, probably right now is not a really good time for you to add a puppy to the mix. It's not fair to you, and it's certainly not fair to the dog. The puppy wants to be with you. They are very social creatures. They do not understand that you need to go to work so you can pay your light bill. They just know that you're gone and they miss you. And it really can hurt that bonding that you can see people having with their puppies. Now, after you have decided that yes, you have enough space in your home, yes, you have enough time, that kind of a thing, the next thing I would suggest you do is you start thinking about your ground rules. Is a dog allowed to get up on the furniture? Are you going to feed it scraps from the table? Are you not? Are there rooms that they're not allowed to go in? These are things that all need to be decided on before the dog gets there. And you need to make sure that every family member is on board with these rules. I always found it very cruel that some family members went by some rules while other family members went by other rules. The poor dog didn't know what to do. Another thing to start thinking about is the dog allowed to go into all areas of the house, or are we going to restrict the dog? Things like that. And finally, the last step is I want you to go ahead and get your house ready. And I know what you're thinking. Well, wait a minute. Why do I need to do that? I don't even have the dog yet. Here's the thing is that once you actively start looking for your new family member, it's not going to take you long to find it. And the last thing you want to do is have to leave your puppy there while you run to your house for a couple of days and get your house ready. And then you run the risk of somebody being able to jump in there and take the puppy before you can. So you just want to have everything set up and ready to go. And now suppose you've got everything set up, you're ready to go, and you are starting to look. I personally like the county shelters. That's a great place to find animals. Also, your local rescue missions are great, and they have great resources for you, and they can help ensure that it's a good fit for you and your family. Thank you very much. Have a good day.